Hi, I'm Chris Gasper, and this is Globe 10.0, joined today by Greg Lee. Well, way back, you know, when it was warm, like in the summer, when training camp started, the expectations for the Patriots were not that high. No one was expecting 14-2. No one was expecting them to be the top seed in the AFC playoffs. Few people gave them a chance to win the division. Well, few people outside of yours truly who picked them to win the division. That being said, this is a very disappointing end to the season. Do you look at this season, Greg, do you consider it a success because they went 14-2 or a failure because they fell short of the Super Bowl?
If you're a Patriots fan, you think this is a failure because of all the years you've won championships and won three Super Bowls. But if you look at it as a holistic, there wasn't much expected of this team, a lot of youngsters in the team. I think it's a real success. I think it's a real building block for what Bill Belichick and Tom Brady would see next year and 2 years down the line because of what they have in the youth of the team. I really think if you're a real Patriots fan, that you really encourage that the steps that are being taken that perhaps may get them back to a Super Bowl level. So in terms of that, I'd look at it as a successful year.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. I mean, look, the way the season ended certainly leaves a very bad taste in your mouth. I'm trying to remember what the Jets guys said. You know, this tastes like a tire covered in peanut butter or something like that. I mean, that's what it feels like. This is a terrible feeling. But I thought this would be the transition year. I thought they'd win the division and maybe win a playoff game, which they didn't do. But I didn't expect them to win the Super Bowl. I thought this was the transition year. Next year, to me, was the year where they were going to contend. And I think they're better set up, certainly going into next year, than they were at the start of this year. But right now, I mean, no one wants to hear success the day after you lost to your arch rival at home in a playoff game after you were in 14-2 and had home field throughout the AFC playoffs. No one wants to hear that.
We live in Boston. We heard that term bridge. Theo said it was a good bridge to next year. I think the Patriots have a great bridge, not only for next year, but for the next 2 or 3 years. So I think Patriots fans should, take this year, take the great 14-2 year, having home field advantage, but also look at it as the players grew.
They did. It was a huge growth year.
They all grew.
Yes,
they've grown. They just get a couple, fixes around the offensive line, a couple of things, but look at this foundation of the team. I really think that this is going to be a team that's built for success.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's, we haven't even mentioned the draft. I mean, they're going to go into the draft armed with 3 of the first 33 picks. They're going to have 2 picks in each of the first 3 rounds. So really, if they can draft as well as they have the last couple of years, they've turned that around a little bit. 09 and 2010, very good drafts. They've really put themselves in a position where they can rebuild this thing and maybe make another run where they win a Super Bowl or 2. So I know people don't want to mark this season down as a success after what happened on Sunday, but let's look at the big picture for once. It was a successful season.